You think it's lust, but it's actually emptiness, an aching void that no desire can fill. Why do we crave more, even when the satisfaction fades so quickly? You might think it's just natural, but deep down, there's something more, something we're running from. The truth? You're not searching for pleasure. You're longing for connection, for a sense of wholeness you've lost. This craving is a signal, not to be ignored. Lust isn't just a desire, it's a deeper emptiness you're avoiding. If you're ready to break free, discover the 7 biblical secrets to destroy lust before it destroys you in my ebook. Check the link in the description. When we feel that restlessness deep inside, that gnawing sense of discomfort, we often seek the quickest escape. It's as though our hearts are caught in an endless search for something to fill the void. Yet no matter how much we grasp, the peace we crave remains just out of reach. In our quest for relief, we turn to distractions, comfort, or temporary pleasure. Whatever numbs the pain, even if just for a moment. But this is not a path that leads to fulfillment. It's a cycle that never ends, a restless chase with no destination. We think we're seeking comfort, but what we really need is to find peace within ourselves. The world offers countless distractions, instant gratification, constant entertainment, the pressure to perform, or to look for validation in others. Yet, these can only serve as temporary fixes, not lasting solutions. The heart, in its most raw form, is not satisfied by fleeting moments of pleasure. It longs for something deeper, something lasting. We live in a world where it's easy to get lost in the noise, where we mistake comfort for peace, pleasure for fulfillment. But the truth is, comfort is not the same as peace. Peace comes from within, from reconnecting with who we are at the deepest level. It comes from stillness, from embracing the quiet moments, not running away from them. It's in that stillness that we begin to hear the voice of our soul, calling us to be whole again. It's when we stop looking outward, when we stop searching for answers in everything around us, that we find the true comfort we've been seeking. This restless search is not a reflection of weakness, but of a soul desperately seeking something it has lost. In truth, we are seeking connection, not just with others, but with ourselves, with our deeper purpose. Our hearts are longing for something that only true fulfillment can provide. When we face this longing, when we stop running from the ache, we begin to reconnect with our essence, our purpose. Only then will the restlessness fade, replaced by a peace that can never be taken away. The search was never about finding something external. It was about rediscovering what was already inside. Lust often masks itself as desire, a craving for physical satisfaction. But beneath that surface is something far deeper, a longing for connection, purpose, and fulfillment. The more we chase these fleeting pleasures, the more we realize that the hunger never truly fades. It only shifts, morphing into a more desperate need for something beyond the temporary highs. The truth is, lust isn't a simple act of indulgence. It's a reflection of a deeper emptiness, a hunger that cannot be satisfied by the body alone. When you dive into the root of this craving, you start to see that it's not about what's on the outside. It's about what's missing on the inside. You might convince yourself it's just about the physical, just about the release, but in reality, what you're truly seeking is a connection that runs deeper than skin, something that brings fulfillment to the soul. You're yearning for a sense of wholeness, for a feeling of being truly seen and understood, yet you look for it in all the wrong places. Every time you give in, the emptiness only grows, as if the craving becomes insatiable, pulling you deeper into a cycle you can't escape. This hunger is not unique to lust. It appears in many forms, from constant distractions to mindless pursuits. It's the same force that drives people to search for meaning in everything but themselves. We look outward, trying to fill the void with relationships, work, success, or pleasure. But these things, however satisfying in the moment, never last. They provide temporary relief but don't address the core of the problem, a disconnect from our true selves. At the heart of this craving is a deeper need to reconnect with who you truly are. Lust, in all its forms, points to a disconnection from your soul, from your purpose, from the very essence of what makes you whole. The longer you avoid facing this inner hunger, the more it intensifies, pushing you to seek external validation, to chase fantasies, and to numb the pain. But the solution isn't more of the same. It's not another fix, another distraction. The real solution lies in understanding what this hunger is truly telling you. Instead of continuing to run from it, ask yourself, what am I really missing? What part of me needs healing? And when you begin to face this hunger head-on, you'll discover that the deeper fulfillment you seek can only come from within, by reconnecting with your soul and the purpose that has always been waiting for you. We spend so much of our lives running, don't we? We chase the next thing, the next desire, the next moment that promises to fulfill us. But in all of that pursuit, have you ever stopped and asked yourself, what am I really running from? The truth is, we're often avoiding something far deeper than the distractions we cling to, the call of our own soul. It's not something we think about often. It's easy to mistake the empty feeling for the need for pleasure, excitement, or achievement. But what if it's not that at all? What if, buried beneath those fleeting cravings, there's a deeper longing, one that calls us to confront our true selves? The more we run from it, the louder it gets. It's as if our soul is desperately trying to get our attention, yet we're too busy to listen. We numb ourselves with work, entertainment, social media, and constant movement. We fill every moment with noise, because silence might force us to confront the questions we've been avoiding. Who am I really? What is my true purpose? What is the pain I've been hiding from all this time? Every time we avoid the soul's call, we lose a piece of ourselves. It's like a small fracture, invisible at first, but over time, the cracks begin to show. We start to feel disconnected, not just from others, but from ourselves. The more we run, the more fragmented we become. This is where addiction begins to creep in. Whether it's a search for the next thrill, the next relationship, or the next distraction. Each one promises to heal the pain, but none of them ever do. And here's the paradox. The only way to truly heal is to stop running, to sit in the discomfort, to embrace the silence, and to listen. Listening to the soul's call isn't easy, because it requires us to be vulnerable, to face the parts of us we've been hiding from. But in that vulnerability, there is immense power. The power to reconnect with who we really are. So, what happens when we answer the soul's call? We start to live authentically, with purpose, not driven by fleeting desires but by a deep inner knowing. Only then do we realize that the emptiness wasn't a void to be filled. It was a call to become whole again. We all have a part of ourselves that we try to hide, a side we're reluctant to face. It's not evil, but it's uncomfortable, unacknowledged, and sometimes even feared. This part of you is called the shadow. It's the collection of feelings, desires, and experiences we push away because they don't fit into the image we want to show the world. But here's the catch. By rejecting our shadow, we deny a powerful part of ourselves. And in doing so, we limit our growth and potential. The shadow is not just a psychological concept. It's the unacknowledged truth of our inner lives, the buried emotions and desires we can't seem to control. Think about it. Have you ever reacted in a way that surprised you, perhaps with anger or jealousy, and then wondered where it came from? That reaction was likely a glimpse of your shadow. It's the part of you that doesn't show up in the polished version you present to others. It's where your pain, insecurity, and unmet needs live, lurking in the background, waiting for a moment to rise to the surface. We often project our shadow onto others. For instance, we may criticize someone for qualities we secretly possess but are unwilling to accept in ourselves. That person's behavior becomes a mirror, showing us a side we'd rather ignore. But here's the thing. That projection is not an attack on the other person. It's an invitation to look inward. The qualities we dislike in others are often reflections of what we haven't reconciled in ourselves. So, what happens when we don't acknowledge the shadow? It continues to shape our lives in subtle, often destructive ways. We may find ourselves stuck in unhealthy patterns, chasing after things that never truly satisfy, or engaging in behaviors we don't fully understand. And here's where it gets dangerous. The more we suppress the shadow, the stronger it becomes. It takes root in our unconscious mind, subtly influencing our choices, relationships, and sense of self. The shadow's power comes from our unwillingness to face it. Facing the shadow is not easy. It requires vulnerability, self-reflection, and a willingness to confront uncomfortable truths about ourselves. But when we do, something incredible happens. We reclaim the parts of us we thought we had lost. Instead of running from these parts, we integrate them, making us more whole, more authentic, and more capable of true connection with others. The shadow, when embraced, becomes a source of strength, not weakness. It allows us to be more genuine, more compassionate, and more in tune with who we really are. The truth is, we can never be truly free until we stop running from our own shadows. The path to self-discovery, growth, and peace begins when we're willing to turn and face what we've been avoiding for so long. If you're ready to break free from the chains of lust and reclaim your power, grab my ebook, 7 Biblical Secrets to Destroy Lust. Unlock the keys to lasting freedom. Purchase now through the link in the description and pinned comment. We all experience moments of emptiness, that deep, unshakable feeling that nothing seems to satisfy. It's like a void within us, a space that no external pleasure or achievement can fill. And yet, we continue to chase after fleeting desires, believing that they hold the key to our happiness. But what if this emptiness isn't something to be avoided or hidden from? What if it's not a flaw or weakness, but a sign that something deeper within us is calling out to be healed? This emptiness is not a mistake. It's a cry for wholeness. It's your soul reaching out, yearning for something more than just momentary satisfaction. Every time you find yourself lost in a cycle of unfulfilled cravings, you're not truly searching for pleasure. You're searching for something far more profound, the reconnect ion with your true self, the fulfillment of a deeper longing that can't be satisfied by temporary distractions. We spend so much of our lives running from this feeling, trying to mask it with quick fixes, distractions, addictions, and superficial pursuits. We think that the next thrill will finally make us feel alive, but it doesn't. It only intensifies the emptiness. The harder we chase, the further away we seem to get from the peace and contentment we truly seek. The truth is, this emptiness is not meant to consume us, it's meant to guide us. It's a powerful signal that we've been disconnected from our true purpose, from the part of ourselves that is whole and at peace. It's the soul's way of saying, "You've strayed too far. Come back to me." We can no longer keep ignoring the quiet voice within us that is asking for more, for depth, for real connection. If we could stop for just a moment, if we could sit with this feeling instead of running from it, we'd discover that the void is not a place of absence, but of possibility. In the stillness, we might find the strength to reconnect with our core, the part of us that is already whole, already complete. True fulfillment doesn't come from chasing empty desires. It comes from coming back to the truth of who we are, from rediscovering the depth of our own soul. The next time that emptiness rises within you, don't be afraid of it. Don't numb it. Embrace it. It's your soul's invitation to return to wholeness. You're running, aren't you? We all do it. The moment things get heavy, the emotions rise, or the pain creeps in, we instinctively seek escape. We turn to distractions, screens, conversations, fantasies, anything to avoid the silence, the stillness, the uncomfortable truth of what's within. But here's the reality. Healing doesn't come from avoiding the pain. It comes from sitting with it, facing it head-on, and allowing the presence of the moment to wash over you. When was the last time you truly stopped? Not just physically, but emotionally. When was the last time you allowed yourself to feel without running to the next distraction? The world is filled with noise, but it's in the quiet, in the pause, that healing happens. You see, we are so conditioned to move quickly, to push through, to fight against our own emotions, that we forget the most powerful tool we have, our presence. There is immense power in just being here. Not rushing past the discomfort, not numbing it, but feeling it in its fullness. It's when we stop, truly stop, and face ourselves in the silence that the healing begins. It's in these moments that the real work happens. It's like tending to a wound that we've long ignored. Only when we sit with it, acknowledge its presence, and care for it, does it begin to heal. But first, we must be willing to stay. In a world that tells us to always be moving, to constantly strive for something more, the idea of simply being still can feel foreign. But it's in stillness that we reconnect with our true selves. We begin to understand why we crave certain things, why we turn to distractions, and why we feel the way we do. It's not about solving everything right away, but about making peace with where we are. The quiet invites us to acknowledge the hurt, the confusion, and the longings, without judgment. True healing happens when we become comfortable with our own presence. When we learn to sit with ourselves without feeling the need to escape. And in that stillness, we realize something profound. We are enough, just as we are. You've been searching for something, always reaching, always craving, but nothing seems to fill the gap. The moment you get what you want, the emptiness creeps back in, deeper than before. It's a cycle you can't escape, a hunger you can't satisfy. You start to wonder, is this all there is? The truth is, that craving, that endless chase, it's not about the thing you're reaching for. It's about you. It's about something deeper inside that you've lost touch with. We live in a world that constantly pushes us to look outward, to fix our lives with new experiences, new people, new things. We're told that pleasure, success, or admiration will bring fulfillment. But it never works, does it? You fill the void temporarily, only for it to return, stronger and more demanding than before. What's happening is simple. The soul is disconnected. You've become so absorbed in the external, you've forgotten the most important part of you. The part that's been waiting, quietly, for you to come back. Reclaiming the soul begins with acknowledgement. You have to face what you've been avoiding, the emptiness that lingers, not as a weakness, but as a signal. This feeling isn't something to run from. It's a reminder of a deeper part of you that's been neglected. You've been seeking comfort in distractions, but the real peace, the real connection, can only be found within. To reconnect with your soul, you need to stop looking for external fixes and start turning inward. This isn't about self-help gimmicks or surface-level fixes. It's a return to your true self, a deep dive into the things you've hidden from or pushed away. The parts of you that you were taught to suppress, the emotions, the desires, the vulnerabilities, they're still there. But they're buried under layers of distractions, fears, and false identities. Reclaiming the soul means confronting those buried parts, facing them with courage, and learning to embrace them as your own. When you reclaim your soul, you stop searching for external validation. You stop needing approval, attention, or affection from others to feel whole. You start to find your worth in the quiet moments of self-acceptance, in the stillness where you hear your own voice again. That's when real transformation begins. You stop being defined by what you lack, and you start becoming whole once more. The chase ends, and peace begins, not because everything has changed, but because you've finally come home. We chase many things in life, believing they'll fulfill us: wealth, success, relationships, even fleeting pleasures. Yet, time and time again, we're left empty. Have you ever wondered why? Despite all the accomplishments and satisfactions, there's still a part of us that craves something more, something deeper. It's not a mistake or a flaw in your desires. It's a reflection of your soul's true longing for something only Christ can provide. The world offers countless distractions, promising happiness in the form of material things or experiences. But even when we possess everything we think we need, there's an underlying emptiness we can't shake. You can fill your life with temporary pleasures, but they can never fill the void of your heart. It's like trying to drink from a cup with a hole at the bottom. You're always thirsty, always longing for more. True fulfillment isn't found in what the world offers. It's found in Christ. When He promises abundant life, He's not speaking about an empty, superficial satisfaction. He's speaking of a deep, spiritual fulfillment that transforms your entire being. You've felt it, haven't you? That peace that surpasses understanding, the joy that lingers long after the moment has passed, the love that heals your wounds in ways no person or thing ever could. This is the fulfillment Christ offers. But here's the catch. It doesn't come from striving, from constantly chasing after things that never truly satisfy. It comes from surrender. It comes from turning away from the endless pursuit of external validation and looking inward, to the one who created you and knows the deepest desires of your heart. When you allow yourself to be fully seen and loved by Him, something shifts. You stop looking for external sources of validation, and you begin to feel whole, as if you were finally able to breathe after holding your breath for far too long. Christ's fulfillment isn't just about finding relief from the pain or emptiness. It's about transformation. It's about rediscovering who you were always meant to be, rooted in His love, secure in His purpose. The more you embrace His presence, the less you need the things you once thought would bring you joy. And that's where true freedom lies, when you stop seeking fulfillment in the fleeting and start resting in the eternal. As we've explored, lust is not merely a physical urge but a deeper symptom of an inner emptiness, a void that nothing in this world can fill. It's a cry from your soul, a yearning for something more meaningful, more lasting than the temporary distractions we often chase. The truth is, you are not just craving a momentary release or fleeting pleasure. You are searching for true connection, for something that can heal the broken parts of you that have been neglected or lost. The world offers many substitutes, but these never last. They never truly satisfy. They leave you feeling even emptier, more disconnected from yourself and the people around you. So, what's the answer? How do you break free from this cycle of craving and emptiness? The answer lies in finding your fulfillment in Christ, where the longing of your soul is finally met, not with temporary pleasure, but with lasting peace, love, and connection. But finding fulfillment in Christ doesn't happen overnight. It requires intentionality, a willingness to turn away from the distractions, the fantasies, and the things that keep you running in circles. It requires embracing His presence, allowing Him to fill the empty spaces within you and lead you into a life of true freedom and satisfaction. When you begin to integrate His love and presence into every part of your life, everything else starts to fade into the background. The cravings lose their grip, and you start to see yourself and the world around you with a newfound clarity and understanding. This journey isn't easy, but it's the only one that leads to lasting fulfillment. If you're tired of the cycle and ready for something real, something that can transform your heart and mind, I've created a resource that can help you. My ebook, 7 Biblical Secrets to Destroy Lust Before It Destroys You, dives deep into practical and spiritual tools that can help you break free from the grip of lust and build a life rooted in Christ's love and fulfillment. You can find it linked in the description below. If you're ready for change, this is your next step.